How saying no opened an unexpected door. It sounded like a mistake the moment he said it. An opportunity most people would never refuse. A decision that closed one door without knowing another existed. Careers often reward those who say yes. Yes to more work. Yes to visibility. Yes to opportunities that promise growth. In today's professional culture, refusal is often framed as fear or lack of ambition. But sometimes the most defining moments arrive not for what you accept, but from what you decline. To understand how saying no reshaped his path, we need to return to a moment that looked like progress. The offer came at the right time. Strong title, increased responsibility, a clear step forward. On paper, it checked every box he was taught to value. Colleagues congratulated him early. Mentors encouraged him to take it. Turning it down felt irrational. The logic was obvious. Advancement rarely waits patiently. Opportunities don't pause for reflection. And saying no meant risking momentum he worked hard to build. But beneath the surface, something felt misaligned. The role required specialization where he wanted breadth. It offered prestige, but narrowed his range. The growth was vertical, not expansive, and accepting it would have quietly closed off paths he wasn't ready to abandon. The conflict stayed internal. He smiled. He nodded, but the unease persisted. Not fear. Clarity struggling to be heard over expectation. And when the moment arrived, he chose against momentum. He said no, and that single refusal changed how everything unfolded next. The reaction was immediate. Confusion first, then concern, then quiet disbelief. People assumed he was negotiating, that he wanted more time, better terms, clearer guarantees. When they realized the answer was final, the tone changed. Advice followed quickly, warnings dressed as wisdom, reminders of how rare opportunities like this were, how careers stall when momentum is interrupted. Saying no created an unexpected vacuum. The certainty he had carried disappeared overnight. The future that had been outlined so clearly was suddenly blank. No replacement offer waited. No alternate path revealed itself. Just space where direction used to be. That space was uncomfortable. Without the next step defined, doubt grew louder. He questioned whether intuition had outweighed reason, whether he had mistaken hesitation for insight. Each quiet moment invited second-guessing. Each conversation reopened the decision, and without external validation, confidence felt fragile. Professionally, the impact was subtle but real. Visibility faded. Conversation slowed. The unspoken assumption shifted. He was no longer the obvious choice for advancement. He had stepped outside the expected sequence. And systems tend to reward predictability. But something else happened alongside the uncertainty. His attention changed. Freed from preparing for a role he didn't fully want, he began noticing options he had previously filtered out. Conversations he would have dismissed. Problems he would have ignored. Ideas that didn't fit neatly into a title or ladder, but sparked genuine curiosity. He explored without urgency, took on cross-functional work, said yes to projects that expanded skill instead of status. The absence of a predefined path forced him to evaluate opportunities differently, not by how impressive they sounded, but by how aligned they felt. Still, the tension remained unresolved. Saying no had removed a clear future. It hadn't yet revealed a better one. And that uncertainty tested his resolve daily. Because choosing against momentum is easy in principle. Living with the consequences is where the real conflict begins. The conflict deepened as time passed. Not because he failed, but because nothing dramatic happened. Weeks turned into months without a defining breakthrough. No sudden opportunity appeared to justify the refusal. No obvious reward arrived for choosing alignment over advancement. From the outside, his career looked stalled. From the inside, it felt suspended between intention and outcome. This was the hardest phase. He was working, contributing, learning, but without a clear narrative. Progress existed, but it wasn't legible. There was no promotion to point to, no title change to explain the decision. Just steady effort without a headline. And that silence was difficult to sit with. Doubt resurfaced in sharper forms. What if the role he declined was the last clear step forward? What if the door he closed mattered more than the ones he hoped would open? What if discernment was simply fear wearing better language? The pressure intensified subtly, not from leadership, but from comparison. Others advanced. Announcements circulated. New responsibilities were assigned around him, not to him. He felt the cost of opting out of the obvious path. Systems don't pause to accommodate reflection, but something was happening beneath the surface. The work he had chosen began compounding. The range he protected became an advantage. He understood how different functions connected. He saw patterns others missed because they stayed inside narrower roles. His questions improved. His judgment sharpened. People started seeking his perspective, not for authority, but for clarity. He became useful in moments of ambiguity. When problems crossed boundaries, his name surfaced naturally, not because of his position, but because of his understanding. The paradox became clear. By saying no to visibility, he had gained relevance. By stepping off the ladder, he had widened his ground, yet the tension remained unresolved. Because relevance doesn't always convert to opportunity. And patience is hardest when you don't know what it's building toward. He had chosen against momentum. Now he had to decide whether to keep trusting that choice. Because the true cost of saying no is a rejection. It's the endurance required to wait for meaning to catch up. The door didn't open suddenly. It revealed itself gradually. A new opportunity emerged, not as a promotion, but as an invitation. A role that didn't exist before. A problem no one owned yet. It required breadth, judgment, and the ability to operate without a script. The exact qualities he had protected by saying no earlier. What once looked like hesitation now looked like preparation. The work carried uncertainty, but also autonomy, influence without hierarchy, growth without confinement. He wasn't stepping up a ladder. He was stepping into space others couldn't occupy. And for the first time, progress felt expansive instead of narrowing. Looking back, saying no wasn't about rejection. It was about preservation. Preserving curiosity, preserving range, preserving the ability to choose direction instead of inheriting it. The opportunity that followed wasn't better because it paid more or sounded stronger. It was better because it matched who he was becoming. Careers aren't shaped only by what we accept. They're shaped by what we refuse to compromise. Sometimes the most powerful move isn't saying yes loudly. It's saying no quietly and waiting long enough for the right door to appear. Subscribe to join the journey. How